On today's program, in Soon on the Screen, see the continuation of the sensational Russian New Year's comedy Christmas Tree, entitled Christmas Tree 1914. A talented person is talented in everything. Recently in Almaty, a famous composer, Kuat Shildebayev, presented his first exhibition of painting as an artist, and see the story about it in the feature art event. And in the category on the front line, we'll take a look behind the scenes of the English-speaking theater Kelt, and see how rehearsals of the new play, The Suicide, a Comedy, is going. The hero of today's Master Has It is a successful and talented Kazakh director of photography, Azamat Dulatov. On the big screen, we see the Russian Christmas comedy called Christmas Tree 1914, which is a sequel to the well-known movies Christmas Tree, Christmas Tree 2, and Christmas Tree 3. And this time, the filmmakers, headed by the producer Timur Bekmambetov, turn to the past, 100 years ago in the Russian Empire, Christmas Eve. Festivities, sumptuous balls, and modest celebrations, titled nobles and ordinary peasants, as well as the royal family and soldiers of the First World War, progressive poets, and the first skaters. Everything was different, except for the holiday, Christmas. The budget of the film is 150 million rubles. Starring in the film are those similar from the first film, Ivan Urgent and Sergei Svetlakov, as well as Konstantin Habensky, Alexander Golovin, and many others. In the gallery Art Samal, there was an exhibition of paintings by the famous composer Kuat Shildebayev, who wrote music for such films as Shal, Early Years of a Bai, and many others. This is the first exhibition of the paintings by Kuat Shildebayev. More than 30 paintings were presented to the audience, striking in their expression and depth. When I saw the series of works by Kuat, I myself wanted to create and wanted to live. I had so many positive emotions when I saw his paintings. I think there is some connection with the fact that if a person writes such wonderful music, he cannot paint a bad picture. There are some parallels between the paintings and his music as well, as if they're in the same creative stream. In the pictures, of course, there is some music, harmony, and truth, from which you get a positive momentum and charge. Music in its purest form is energy. Everyone thinks that it is ephemeral and not material, but for me, music is material. I can see some colors and they associate with certain tones. I didn't have drawing lessons. I have a great desire just to show music through painting. When I started to work with enthusiasm, I began to be guided by the fact that there are art forms of music, polyphonic and rhythmic patterns. All of these can be laid down in paint. Specifically, music transforms into colors. And it fascinated me. I sincerely just painted like a child. I subconsciously knew that as I moved, it was by my musical intuition. And I just tried to translate my music into painting. Today we took a look behind the scenes of the English-language theater Kelt, who are preparing to stage the play The Suicide, a Comedy, based on the one-name play by Nikolai Erdmann, which was written in 1928.
For this play, we had about 85 people come to the casting. So rehearsals usually last about 2 to 3 months, and we rehearse 5 nights a week, sometimes 6 nights a week, for about 3 hours at a time. And so our rehearsals are very, very intense. We take it seriously. We try to do as professional and quality as a job as possible, even though all of our actors are amateurs. No one's professional actors, but we take it very seriously.
My role in this play is Podsekalnikov Semyon, the main character. He is very sensitive to everything, and he's a really interesting person. He lives in a communal apartment with his wife and mother-in-law. The most interesting thing is that his wife works from morning till night. I would say until night, but he sits all day in the same room. Here appears different thoughts of which the comedy is built. The performance has more than 20 actors which are closely linked, and each one contributes to the subject of the composition and its production. The play, The Suicide, is primarily dealing with relationships of human power and the freedom of rights of the individual, no matter how ugly these people are. It shows a kind of revolt of the little man. The complexity of the setting is that the play is placed entirely in English.
It's amazing to see what happens from the very first day until the day that the show opens, because what you'll notice is growth.
The hero of today's program is a young and very successful talented director of photography, Azamat Dulatov. At the moment, Azamat is considered one of the best operators in Kazakhstan. Under his belt, there are dozens of major projects. The ability to draw was developed in the boy from childhood. After school, Azamat enrolled in art school, but he soon gave that up, thinking that it wasn't really what he wanted. And fate brought Azamat to the Academy of the Arts, named after Jurgenov, where the future operator was in the right environment, and he got a professional education, was eagerly soaking up all of the knowledge from the masters, and laboring on various movie sets as an assistant. I realized that there are only 3 basic ways to become a cameraman. It is necessary to know everything about the production of light, composition, and camera movement. Here are 3 basics that each cameraman should know. First, I understand the idea, and I think then you can convey it to people. And it turns out like magic. As an artist, you use brush strokes. You're adjusting the lighting, removing and setting a moving camera. It all depends on the idea of the picture. In addition to numerous television works, filming commercials and video clips, Azamat took 10 feature films. His first feature film as a cinematographer, Azamat received when he was only 21 years old. Despite his very young age, the producers entrusted very serious work to this talented young man. His works are in 3 Nights, City A, Losing My Virginity in Almaty, Kazakhstan, Forbidden Dance, and The Way. In the project The Way, I really liked the idea, and we wanted it to seem more natural, and to translate that naturalness to screen. I had a very good job with the art director. I asked him to achieve maximum naturalness in each frame. Also among the works of Azamat are the Kazakh comedies Take Care, It's a Cow, and Kelenka Sabina. I really liked the theme of the village, and I wanted to show the village so that the audience members loved it as well. I wanted to show the beauty of the village, to make it very colorful, so I added a lot of color. Actually, styles come more by chance, I think. They come to the heart, and then they fall out of my heart into my head. And then out of my head, they begin to be implemented. In movie production, everyone should work as one body. If all parts of the body work well, then the body will be healthy. But probably I follow 3 major themes. I adhere to light, composition, and camera movement. I force a person on a subconscious level to understand that this is a story that must be shot in a certain way.